Sports fans, we are live. Welcome back to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. Here with me, as always, my co-host, Uncle Chilltown 32. Unc, what's popping? How you running today?
In the house, man. Running good, Joe. We had a lot of action over the last couple of days with the
Mm-hmm.
trade deadline. So we got a lot to talk about.
We got a whole lot to talk about. Y'all know what today is. Y'all know what today is. Y'all know what today is. February 11th,
Mm-hmm.
2022, episode, what is this, 37?
Mm-hmm.
We chill, man. Chill
Yeah.
town. We chilling. It's barbershop Fridays, man. You know we gonna coast
Mm-hmm.
through this thing. We gonna have a laid back conversation with y'all. We gonna talk some basketball, talk some shit that's been popping over the last few weeks. Body bag, appreciate the gifted sub, man. We always rocking with y'all. Best podcast, not even a debate. Sizzler, I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate you, man. Shout out to the loyals over there on YouTube. Those guys been running it up lately, man. Y'all really contributing in a heavy way, man. I appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. Drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What the hell are you doing? You can't catch us here live, man. We're going to be dead over there on YouTube. Can't help but see our faces, right? You know, shout out to the loyals in here. Ball Rat, Dame Dollar, Sizzler just dropped the somebody just dropped the gifted sub. Body Bag just dropped the gifted sub. Big Boy, what's popping? A couple of y'all in here, man. I appreciate all of you guys joining us every Tuesday, Friday. We might cut the Tuesday show after the Super Bowl, at least for a little while, catch a break, you know, and then maybe pop back up if we feeling a little froggy. So we'll see how that go, you know. But we're going to always give y'all this basketball. We're going to always tune in every Friday. That's for damn sure. Tuesday, up in the air, we'll see about it. You know, we'll talk about it. We'll get y'all opinion on how y'all feel about that. What's up from Hawaii? I'm back. Appreciate
Hawaii
you,
in the
man.
house.
Hawaii in the
I've been
house,
to
man.
Hawaii. Hawaii is dope.
I
I've
ain't
been
never
there
been.
before.
I'd love to go.
Yeah.
Never been. I would love
Hawaii is
to
dope.
go. But
Yes, sir.
Fisted say, get Luca some help. You know, Hero say always here. Yeah, that's my dog, man. Shout out Hero,
We're gonna
man.
talk about him. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about Luca.
We're
We
gonna
got
talk
him on the
about
tape.
Luca. We
Yeah,
got
we
we
got
got
him.
we got Luca on the docu, man. We got a couple of things we want to
Mm-hmm.
discuss. Unc mentioned it. A lot of trades went down. The trade deadline was cracking, no lie. So we got a lot of trades went down. We're going to talk some Luca Doncic. We're going to talk some Lakers. You know, they got to stay in the docu. They struggling. It's a team everybody had in the finals representing the Western Conference. So they don't look like it's going to be that. We got to discuss it. But to kick the show off, we're going to talk about this trade deadline. It went off, Thursday, 3 p.m., and
Yep.
everything was shooting left to right, up to down. A lot of shit went down, right? Biggest one, of course, we all know Ben Simmons moved from Philly to Brooklyn for James Harden. And I want to get into that, but it was a lot more than that went down. What were some of these trades that went through?
Well, it's interesting, Chris, because usually during the trade deadline, it's much to do about nothing, right? Because up until the trade deadline, there's a lot of action. But on the day of the trade deadline, there's not really much going on. But it was a lot of action on this trade deadline
Yeah,
day, right?
on the
So
day, yeah.
we'll, on the day, because usually it's not like that. Usually we'll have action a couple of days before, maybe even a week before. We'll have a lot of action and we'll have some things going on. But we had a lot going on that day, and I was surprised about that. But I'm going to start with what the Trailblazers did. Now, a lot of people turned their nose up to what the Trailblazers did, moving off Norman Powell and moving off of, and to get Bledsoe and to get Keon Johnson. I understood it. I understood people turning their noses up to it, but you have to understand what the Trailblazers' motivation was. Well, what are they doing, Well, the first thing they did was moving off of Norman Powell's money. Norman Powell is in the first year of a 5-year, $90 million deal. So they get that money off of their books. All right. They bring in Bledsoe. Bledsoe only got one more year left on his deal. That's this year right here.
Mm-hmm.
So his money comes off the books. All right. Keon Johnson, he on the books for 4 years, but he a rotation guy. So his money only $11 million. That's a little bit of money, right? So the Blazers saved $1 million on this deal alone. And the reason why they did that is because of two reasons. Two reasons. Number one, they coming up to the draft, and what they trying to do is they trying to find out what can we get? What can we get for Dame?
Yeah.
Because what we're not going to do is we're not going to lose him. That's what. Let's make one thing clear. Draft night, that's check day. So whatever you trying to get from me, you got to get it on check day. Because after the draft, I ain't got no money.
Right.
I'm spent. I done spent it all on that day. So they looking at Dame on that day. If we don't have anything or if we don't get anything that we like, we got $60 million in our pockets under the cap. So we going shopping. And we're going to sell Dame that we're going to try to get him whatever we can to compete.
Oh, do
If
you
they
believe
don't
that?
ship him, I don't, to be honest with you, I don't. I wish I could say I did. I'm like, yo, Dame is going for that. Dame will be 32 on opening night.
Right.
I ain't really got a lot of years left. So the idea of y'all moving this guy and that guy and trying to build it around me, we talking about a rebuild? Yeah.
It sounds
I don't know if
sketchy.
I'm really down for that. It does sound sketchy, but knowing Dame is a very loyal guy.
Right.
All right. So you might be able to talk Dame into it initially, but you got to show him that you really serious. And what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna bring in guys like Julius Randle, and you're not gonna bring in guys like that because you're not serious. I'm not wasting my last 2, 3, 4 years playing with C and D guys and trying to compete for a championship.
Who's
Nah,
going to
that's
be
not gonna work.
available? That's the problem. Ain't nobody really going to be available, and you don't have no assets to make a move like Philly did. So
Right,
it really Dame is going to be stuck fringe making the playoffs.
right.
And I think his
could very
best
well
years are
happen.
behind him. So
And you ain't the only one who said that. I've heard that from a number of different people. I think Dame still got some good years left. He's only 31. He's only 31, and might he be starting to break down? I don't think he's starting to break down. I still think he's got 3, 4 more years at this level over. Right? So with that being said, I like what Cleveland did, to be honest with you. I'm digging what Cleveland did and moving on Karis LeVert. Absolutely. And the reason why I'm digging that is because Indiana has what's going on as a fire sale. When you got a fire sale, come and get it.
yeah,
All right? I'm trying to get whatever I can for whatever I got left. Now, remember who we talking about, Chris. We talking about this Indiana team that 2 years ago, they was in the bubble. TJ Warren looked like he was somebody that we could build around. Sabonis, Turner. We looked like we had something that we could move on. Well, the problem was TJ got hurt. All right? And then Turner, TJ Warren, he got hurt. And then Turner was in and out of the lineup. So that just left Sabonis. Right? We had already lost Victor Oladipo, so that just left Sabonis. Well, they had decided that, we're not going to win with this unit. So we having a fire sale. Come on down. See what you could get, right? And I'm digging Karis LeVert in Cleveland because now he gives them another wing scorer. He gives them another defender, and he gives them more pop.
I'm going to
that they
stop you
didn't
right
have.
there. I'm going to stop you right there because I put in a docu of what was the most underrated, the one that nobody's really talking about. That was mine. Karis LeVert going over there to Cleveland. I don't want to call it a big move. It was a smart move. It was a nice move, right? Considering the unsurety of Colin Sexton. Even though I feel like Colin Sexton had a brighter future, Karis LeVert is, 27, 28 years old right now. Colin Sexton is still a young bull. I think Colin Sexton could have been a better piece for them, but he is undersized, and I don't think they wanted to move in the direction of Sexton, so they got a replacement because I think they might let him walk. I think his rookie deal is up, and they got an option to sign him. They got
Restricted free agent this summer.
restricted. Okay, so they got
He restricted free agent
So
this summer.
I think they're gonna let him walk. They got Karras to replace him, which was smart because it's better to let him walk and then make a move for a player that can contribute at a decent level. Like Karis LeVert in this role is gonna be nice versus letting a guy walk or forcing to sign a guy that you don't think is that dude because somebody gonna pay Colin Sexton some big money, even coming off of this his major injury. Somebody gonna pay Sexton some big money, and I don't think Cleveland wanted to do that with all of the young assets that they got and guys coming up. So I like this move, getting Karis LeVert, and they traded Ricky Rubio. So now they got, they like what they got in DG, and then you got Karis next to him. You got all of them European guys and them foreign guys, and you got Mobley and you got Allen and Kevin Love. I don't know how long they're gonna keep Kevin Love, but I think that's the most underrated trade that nobody's really talking about.
Well, when I think about what Cleveland did, like we just got finished talking about, the one thing that teams love expiring contracts. The fact that Ricky Rubio was hurt, that's not that big a deal because his money come off the books after this season, right? So we can move him. So that's not a big deal. And when you get expiring contracts, that opens up even more money for you. So when I think about what Cleveland is doing, what I don't think they're going to do, I'm going to have to disagree with you with this. They're not letting Colin Sexton walk out the front door.
You don't think so?
Nah, absolutely. Because when I think about the players in the NBA, just guards alone, I can't name. It's not that I can't name. I'm thinking about the players in the NBA. How many guards are averaging 25 a game?
Yeah.
I can't think of that many guards that are averaging 25 a game. So with that being said, this meniscus tear, this isn't something that's major. This is something that's going to get healed up, and he's going to get back in the lineup, and he's going to still be super sharp, right? So what we can't do.
So you think they're going to sign and trade?
Maybe a sign and trade, or maybe just a straight up trade, because again, he's still a restricted free agent.
Okay.
So they have an option. Yeah, they have an option to match whatever team is thinking about. I don't think they're gonna do that neither. But I think that come draft night, I think that's when it's gonna open up for them. So when I think about Indiana, we just got finished talking about a fire sale. Like I hear a lot of people talking about Sacramento. I can't believe you guys did this. I'm actually digging Sabonis coming to Sacramento with Fox. First of all, Sabonis 25 years old. So you got a young guy in Sabonis. You got another young guy in Fox. So now I got two guys to build around, as opposed to I had Fox, I had Halliburton, who now is in Indiana, and he's going to be a solid piece.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how
Halliburton was having a breakout year, though, so I'm kind of like, if they could have kept him.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. The thing that I'm worried about with Halliburton is, how is this going to work with him and Duarte? Because when I think about Duarte's one of the better rookies in the game. Mm-hmm. And he looks like he's going to be a player moving forward. Now, I understand we have a little bit of a log jam here. We got Halliburton. We got Buddy Hield, who's a long ball shooter. Now we got Duarte. I think that Indiana is going to be one of those teams come draft night. They're going to be moving again. Now, I'm surprised that they didn't move off of Turner, because I'm sure that they got a bunch of calls.
That was going to be my next question.
I'm really surprised that they didn't move on him, because I'm sure that they got a bunch of calls, and he comes off their book soon too. So with moving him, I'm sure y'all could have got some high draft picks for him.
Oh yeah.
I think that they sound like they were worried about getting fleeced. Like they didn't just want to hand him over for nothing. But you're having a fire sale. Mm-hmm. When you're having a fire sale, I'm just trying to get whatever I can to salvage. So when I move forward, I got something to build on, as opposed to I don't really have anything. Right? So I like this Sacramento trade. I know a bunch of people who don't. I actually like it because we building around Fox, we building around Sabonis. We got a vet in Harrison Barnes, who I'm digging still. Harrison Barnes is still solid.
To me, you go open the only issue that I got is De'Aaron Fox took a step back from where he was at last year, and I think so. which is showing me a bit of inconsistency. And usually, when young players take a step back, it's because somebody hindered their success. Nobody's in his way. It's his job to lose. And right now, I don't want to say he's not playing good ball, but he's not playing at the level that he was playing at last year. So I'm looking at that like, are you really a piece to build around? Like, I know Sabo's 2012 walking in his sleep. 6 assists.
He is.
He's going to give you that. He ain't going to play that much defense, but he can score the ball. He can pass it. So Here's the thing about Fox, though. I mean, Fox just, don't forget, Walton was his head coach, and he was rolling with him. Now you bring in a new guy from Golden State. Yeah.
A guy from Golden State. I'm not a big fan. And the reason why I'm not a big fan is because you recycling these old coaches. And with recycling these old coaches, you recycling old ways. And that could definitely contribute to him taking a step back. Because he ain't injured, right? His durability isn't in question. He still plays regularly. So I can't say with 100% certainty that I agree with that part. But I think that he will be better moving forward, because I don't think that they're going to keep Alvin Gentry. I think he's gone after this season. I think that they definitely looking in a different direction for another coach. So I like what Sacramento did. I like what Indiana did. I definitely like what Cleveland did. I'm digging what Portland did. The Boston trade, I can't say with 100% certainty that it blew my skirt up, because
what you think about that? Let's get into that. Let's discuss this. Not Boston. I'm sorry. What did Boston do?
Well, they got another guy in Dirk White back. That's a rotation guy. Yeah. It wasn't that big of a splash. All right, I can understand that. That's going to help them, right? That's going to help them moving forward. But I wasn't that blown away by what they were doing. I thought that they were getting in the market of getting a lead guard.
Right.
Because Marcus Smart isn't it.
Nah.
Right? Marcus Smart isn't it. I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have picked up the phone and called up Sacramento and asked for Fox.
Right.
And asked them what they wanted for Fox. Because that's a lead guard who could really help you. Really help you guys. So I'm surprised that they didn't take it there. But with all of the trades that were going on, I was really surprised. I wasn't surprised, but I was really interested in how this Brooklyn trade would go.
That's what I was
really interested. I was really interested in how this Brooklyn trade would go. And the reason why I was interested is because if you go back, I said after Miami basically went into Brooklyn and smoked them dudes, I said, instead of Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons, take Irv off the table. How about you call up Brooklyn? How about you call up Philadelphia? How about you ask for Andre Drummond? He on a rookie minimum deal. That's the muscle in the middle that you don't have. And I think that he could help you out tremendously. I got roasted for that. What are you talking about? Have you seen him play defense? Did you see him alongside of Anthony Davis? Well, here's the problem with that. When I'm playing alongside another big who does primarily what I do, my production is going to suffer. One, he's on the floor more than me. And two, when we on the floor together, I don't get to do nearly as much as I want to because the defense and the offense is centered around him.
Right.
So that's good. Now, when you move Andre Drummond to Brooklyn, he's starting day one.
Day one.
He as soon as the trade was finalized and it was legit, he is absolutely the guy in the middle for them. Now, I know where you're going with it. I know that you think about James Harden. Here's the thing, Chris. We were going to lose him at the end of the season. He was going to walk.
No doubt.
He was absolutely going to walk. And what we can't do is we cannot let James Harden walk out the front door for nothing.
Oh, definitely.
That's a fireable offense. Yeah. Ask Danny Ainge. How do you let Kyrie Irving just walk out the front door for nothing? You can't let this dude just walk out the front door. So they knew that they were going to lose him, which would explain why, right from the beginning, they said he's on the trade block. But then they tried to rescind that because they wanted to make it look like, well, maybe he's not. We all knew that James Harden was on the trade block.
He knew.
We all, and he knew as well, which would explain why he was amping it up. Well, wait a minute. They want to trade me. Absolutely, I would love to be in Philadelphia. No question about that. Now, when I look at Ben Simmons in Brooklyn, Chris, you're going to roast me for this. I don't like trading in the division. I don't.
I feel you. I'm with that. I get it.
I don't like trading. Not only do I not like trading in the division, I don't like trading in the division when we're in contention. We're talking about two playoff teams. Chicago, the Bulls ain't giving
Detroit.
The Bulls ain't giving Detroit John Paxson. No, we're not doing that. No way. The Bulls are not giving. Detroit is not giving Chicago Mark Aguirre. That's not happening.
That ain't happening.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
Absolutely
Hell
not.
No, that ain't.
No way.
That ain't happening.
Crazy
at all.
You think the Bulls is giving Detroit Horace Grant?
Nah,
hell no.
Hell no. No.
You better not call us with that nonsense.
Nah.
So I understand that Ben Simmons was disgruntled, and I understand that at this particular time, and you are the one who made it clear to me. We're talking about a guy that's Gabricio.
Facts. That's what I want to get into.
I'm listening.
That's what I want to get into, right? Because the big buzz has been around town that Ben Simmons, the Ben Simmons trade, the Nets fleeced them, all of this and that. Like, I do believe the Nets got the better end of the deal by a small margin, simply for the future. You know what I'm saying? They get a young asset in Ben Simmons who people were calling garbage just as soon as a few months ago. You know,
like you.
Facts. I'm one of them. Definitely. I'm still on that hype train, you know, but I just think people like a fresh start. When people get a fresh start, people want to see Ben Simmons be good because he's oozing with potential just from looking at the guy. He looks the part. You ever look at a guy and says, man, I only hired him or he's only working here because he looked the part. Don't know a damn thing. He don't know more than me, but he got that spot because he looked the part. Just point blank period. Like some people have that capability to put themselves in position just because they look the part. And Ben Simmons is one of those guys. Oozing with potential. When I say potential, I mean God-given. Just 6'10", 200 some odd pounds.
A couple years ago. Wasn't he just a couple years ago just talking about him in the same sentence we was talking about LeBron? Like he got that LeBron
That's
potential?
what I'm saying. That it factor and all this old shit. I mean, the guy's 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot wingspan, 200 some odd pounds, can handle the ball with either hand, finish with either hand. You know, his passing ability is bar none. His court vision. Defensively, we're not even going to discuss. One of the best defenders in the league. So it's like you oozing with all of that, and it's just you missing something. You missing a few things, actually. Me and my boy Cardell was on line 1 earlier, and we was talking about it. He says some of the dumbest shit I ever heard, but he did say it. He said he feels like Ben Simmons could be the best player in the league if you put a jump shot on him and put some dog in him. And I said, damn, that's a lot to put into a player. So you want me to give him some dog, and you want me to give him a jump shot? In order for you to – I said, well, it's somebody in the league that's already like that. His name is Kawhi Leonard. So if you're not calling Kawhi Leonard the best player in the league, then what you're talking about with Ben Simmons don't mean shit. Because Kawhi and Ben Simmons is very comparable if you give him those attributes. Because Kawhi got that dog. Kawhi can shoot the ball. Kawhi is arguably the best defender in the league. Solid rebounder. Actually good rebounder for a guard/forward. You know, just his passing has gotten better every year since he's been in the league, since he developed as a Spurs. So if you're not calling Kawhi the best player in the world right now, what you really don't mean what you're saying about Ben Simmons. So, I mean, look at Giannis. My thing is if he's comparable to Giannis right now because they both lack a jump shot. But if you put in Giannis in the position of Ben Simmons, you could see the progression was not there versus the progression for Giannis. Not only did his body get bigger, because he realized what type of game that he had and what he was going to need to do. He was going to need to pound the rock. You know what I'm saying? He realized that. So he got better. His physique got better. And also his game got better. You saw every single season Giannis progressed. We can't say that for Ben Simmons. So
that's the important part right there, what you just said.
Yeah.
When you see guys who they go from here to here to here, you know this dude is working on his game. Yeah. He ain't just in the gym. It's upstairs too. With Ben Simmons, it's here. And it's here. And it stays here. Mm-hmm. Right? He's still 16-8. That's who he is. Yeah. Right? Now, is he something different than 16-8? Okay, if you are, show it to me.
Show me.
Number 2, show it to me. Number 2, I am not listening anytime, not just you, anytime anybody tries to sell me the notion we're going to put that dog in him. You either got that dog in you or you don't. That's just, it's either, now I can bring that dog out of you, but I can't put that dog in you.
That's for
you either got
so.
that, you either got that dog in you. You either got that dog in you or you don't. Bryant, James, Jordan, Magic, I could go on and on. These dudes got that dog in them, and you don't have to put it in them. You got to bring it out of some people, but you ain't got to put it in them. When I look at Ben Simmons, does this guy have that dog in him? No, that's not good enough, man. That's not going to work.
Hell no, he ain't got no dog in him.
Man.
Just look at the shit that he did with Karl Anthony Towns. These boys is on the video game playing. Ben Simmons say, hey, run one more. Cat like, man, I got to get off, man. It's late. I got a game tomorrow. Who you play? Toronto. Oh, you got that. You could play another game. They garbage. Like, bruh, like I'm telling you I got to get off because I can give me some rest so I can go to work in the morning.
I got to
get to work. And you got to get to work too, but you're trying to convince me to stay.
By the way.
Like, you got to get to work too, and you trying to convince me why it's okay to stay on because my opponent, I don't think it was Toronto. I knew it was a team that ended up being good, like, I think it was Atlanta, and it bit them in the ass because Atlanta ended up beating them in the playoffs or some shit like that. That's why everybody started bringing that up. It was Atlanta or some shit. Atlanta was garbage at the time. This was like Ben Simmons' rookie or sophomore season. And
so why we stopping there? Because you know for a fact that if it's just with the video games, it ain't just with the video games. Exactly. It's when we out too. Yo, we can stay out another hour. Right. Yo, come on, man. We can stay out another 2 hours.
Right.
We play the Clippers tomorrow.
Exactly.
Man. We play Oklahoma City, yo. We ain't got to sweat. So I don't know if I want to hang around this dude, okay? I don't know if this dude is the dude that I want to be hanging around because serious you are. I don't know how serious you are about being a pro. Not a basketball player. I'm talking about a pro. So when I look at him with Brooklyn, I think a lot of the responsibility that he had in Philadelphia is going to be taken off of him, and I think that that's going to help hide him. And when I say hide him, that means, number one, I ain't got to shoot the ball. You know why I ain't got to shoot the ball? Irv. You know why else I ain't got to shoot the ball? KD. So I don't really have to shoot the basketball. Also, Seth Curry here. So I don't really have to shoot the basketball.
And I think that was a vital piece in why they brought Seth Curry in, because when Kyrie Irving is in and out of the lineup, if he don't get fully vaccinated, now you got a guy with the capability to give you 20, and he's an underrated ball handler. So, he can do some things like Seth Curry, man, in the pick and roll is one of the most sneakiest mofos I ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is a spot up shooter, but he could low key, like, he ain't got the best handles, but he got them. What's the white boy from Atlanta?
Herder.
He got them Kevin Herder handles. You know what I'm saying? Like, they sneaky as hell. Like, so it's like I'm watching him like, damn, like he could low key handle like he ain't got no killer cross, but he could use the screen, little probe through the defense. Do what you got to do. So he's a guy that I think at the ripe age of, like, he's like 31, 32 years old. So I don't think Philly had a problem getting off him. He's coming up in age. We don't know how long he's got at this level that he's playing at, which I think he's in his prime right now. This is the best version of Seth Curry we've seen over the past 2 seasons. So how many more of these years do we have in him? I don't know. But I like the move for Brooklyn to add that, knowing the unsurety behind Kyrie Irving. So when he's not in the lineup and you got a Ben Simmons and now you got a Seth Curry, you got a Joel Embiid. So, I mean,
now I like
Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, I meant.
Right. Now I like what the Nets did, but I like what Philadelphia did. And Philadelphia did this for the short term. And the reason why I say the short term is because you and me had this conversation. How many more years you think Joel got at this level?
How old is Joel? 27, 28?
27 years old.
With his
and we talking, now we talking.
Maybe 5.
I'll give him 4.
Yeah.
5 tops.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, that window for us to win it is not open. Because how many more years you think James got? I think James Harden got 3 more years left at this level. Two more years at this level, 3 tops. So if we're gonna win it, we got to do it now, right? And they were able to hold on to, which I'm loving the fact that Philadelphia did this. They were able to hold on to Maxey and Thibault because Brooklyn wanted Thibault, and Philadelphia was like, nope, you can't have him. Absolutely not. We could talk about Curry. We could talk about Drummond.
That's because the money had to match up. Right. And also he's older. So Thibault and Maxey, they're young players. They wanted to keep those assets.
Right. And not only that, we're looking at these guys for the future as well. And then you got Shake. Once Shake get back in the lineup, I'm liking what Philadelphia did with this. I don't think that they got I like it in the short term more than anything. And the idea of James Harden.
I might like it in the long term. What long term? If we talking 5 years long term, like you say, we got a window with Embiid 5 years, right? Let's say how many Harden got 1 year left on his deal. Let's say they re-sign him for 3 years. So now that extends 3 to 4 years left on his contract, right? With an Embiid for the next 3 to 4 years. Then people were saying they don't have a bench. I mean, they got the little, the boy that can shoot the ball. You just mentioned Milton. They got what's his name? Kaz.
I don't know. The Euro.
Yeah, the Euro cat. He could shoot the peel. Now, James Harden, we've seen James Harden at his best when it's a 5 out, and he's the guy running the show. So the what I've noticed is the Philadelphia 76ers suffer when Joel Embiid goes to the bench. When Embiid goes to the bench, they suffer. They still got Maxey. They still got Thibault, even though he struggles to shoot the ball. They still got Thibault. They still got Milton. And then you got Harden, man, and all that. So essentially, these guys can turn into the Houston Rockets, 2017 Houston Rockets, when Embiid goes to the bench. Find a way to stagger this lineup to where James Harden could, you pull Embiid early in the first, let James Harden come out with the second unit late in the first, into the second. Then you pull Harden, middle of the second, throw Embiid back in there, let Maxey run the point, and now you got the squad you get. And not even to mention, they still got Tobias Harris, who's a guy that can put the ball on the deck and get his own bucket. So I like what the Nets is doing, and although they might not be as strong as they were on the bench-wise, they still strong defensively. Even though they lost Ben Simmons, they still got Joel Embiid. They still got Maxey. They still got Thibault, who's arguably one of the best defenders in the league. So I like what they're doing, not only for the short term, but also for the long term, because now you putting them in a position where they can add a few assets, to that little minor pieces, because they got they 1-2 punch solidified, and that's all you need. That's what every team is looking for. You know what I'm saying? And they got that. So
I'm glad you mentioned that too. And one last thing that I want to mention
how many teams? One more question. How many teams in the league right now can you say have 2 top 10 players on it?
See, Philly got James Harden and Embiid. The Lakers, I thought that AD and James would be that, but no, that's not it. That's not going on. I don't think Miami. I don't think Milwaukee does. I don't think that Boston does. Toronto doesn't.
Depending on how you feel about Levine right now, maybe Chicago.
Yeah.
But
I think Levine is a top 15 player. I don't think he's a top 10 player.
That's what I'm saying. So depending on how you feel.
I don't think he is.
The answer is nobody. If you not, the only one that I thought of was LA. And if you don't think LA is that, the answer is nobody. That's the joke. That's the capability that they have. They got something that don't nobody else got.
That's a fact. So when I look at what Philadelphia is doing, right? I think what's really important, I think it's important that we get roles established. So James Harden goes to Embiid. Yo, I'm going to play off of you. Let's make sure we 100% clear about that. This isn't going to be a back and forth of this your team. Nope. I'm going to play off you. He's never had a pick and pop guy like Embiid. He's never had a pick and dive guy like Embiid. He's never had a guy who can handle the ball in transition like Embiid. And Embiid has not had a guy who can handle the ball like James Harden. Like James Harden. He's never had a playmaker and a guy who can stretch the defense all in one like James Harden. So I think this benefits both of these guys.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I love the moves I love the move for both sides. I just want to see Ben Simmons be better than what he's been. I know I call him Gabricio, which is a fact. The man's garbage. Show me some. You don't want me to call you garbage? Show me some. That's how I feel about it. Point blank, period. I'm not handing out nothing. Oh, OGP nice. No, I'm not nice. I'm not handing out shit. I'm only player. I can't stand when players get upset when analysts critique them. We critique you based on what you show us. We're not creating these notions. If you garbage out there on the court, that's what the hell I'm going to call you. If you come out here, you ball out, I'm going to say it. People know, oh, you be hating on LeBron. But when LeBron is having a good stretch, I come out here and I gladly, hey, LeBron might still be the best player in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he's lackluster defensively, that was just me over-exaggerating the situation. Do I really feel that way? No. I think it's Kevin Durant. I think Giannis is in a close second. And I think, LeBron is somewhere in that, 3, 4, 5 range. Because he's taking a step back defensively. His leadership suffers from that. 3 to 4 games below 500 is unacceptable for an all-time great. I don't give a damn who you are. That's why we gotta we gotta count these things when we're talking about that conversation. But shout out to both sides of this trade. I really enjoyed what they did. Both parties are happy, and shit, let's move on. Let's play some basketball. But speaking of Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Nets have lost 10 straight games, 7 in a row since Kevin Durant has been on injury, and they rank last in the league defensively since Kevin Durant has been out. Now, I know it's just a bunch of guys out there running around now. They had the James Harden saga where he all of a sudden pulled his hamstring, but it's like, Unc called these guys fool's gold. Even when they're 100% healthy, he's not believing in it. The situation with Kyrie Irving, we ain't sure about it. But it's just these boys was pretty much placed in the finals just like the Lakers were. It was supposed to be Nets versus Lakers in the NBA Finals. The Lakers made absolutely no moves during this whole trade deadline frenzy. And now with this team struggling, they've dropped to what seed in the Eastern Conference? Brooklyn? Ain't they at 7? I was about to say, ain't they at 7 now? So
they're a game and a half out of 8.
So 2 questions for you. One, with the Brooklyn Nets kind of fading back and Kevin Durant answering the question of when he'll be healthy, the way that he answered it during the draft, it's kind of look like he ain't in no hurry to get back. Kyrie ain't in no hurry to get vaccinated. They lost James Harden. He didn't like the situation that was going on. They acquired Ben Simmons. They got the big that they want, but I don't know if that'll be enough to be title contenders this year. One, who does this open up the door for in the Eastern Conference? And two, how does Ben Simmons and the new acquisitions help solve this problem?
Well, the first thing I want to start with is let's give the Brooklyn Nets just a little bit more context. I mean, 8 of their 10 losses is against playoff teams, so it's not like they just losing.
They are playoff teams. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, they are
championship
playoff
aspirations.
Teams.
That's unacceptable.
Right, absolutely. They 8 of their 10 losses against playoff teams, and 6 of their 10 losses, Harden was out the lineup. Right, so Harden was out the lineup, so that stuff matters. However, they have, I'm not going to say skyrocketed because that's going this way. They have plummeted to the bottom of the playoff picture. And why? Because exactly what I talked about before all of this stuff happened. I told you they was fool's gold for 2 reasons. We are thin in the middle. We got no muscle. And we haven't established roles here. James Harden was the guy on the basketball. He was a playmaker. But we got an inconsistent lineup. Irv plays when he can. Kevin Durant is out he's been out for almost 2 months. We might not get KD back to the playoffs.
Right.
This might be worse than what we think it is. Now, I'd like to know from the people in the cheap seats, when the last time we had an NBA champion lose 10 games in a row? I'm real interested to hear that right there. When the last time we had an NBA champion lose 10 games in a row? I've been watching the NBA since I was in the 2nd grade, and I can tell you, I have not seen an NBA champion lose 10 games in a row.
Me neither.
Now I'm gonna hear people make context. Well, four of our 5 starters are out. LaMarcus Aldridge was out. Kyrie Irving was out. Kevin Durant was out. Blake Griffin. With all of that being said, I'm going on record and I'm saying it. Aldridge is washed. I'm saying it. It is what it is. Aldridge is washed. This was his last. I'll be surprised if he plays again after this season.
Yeah.
With Irv coming in and out of the lineup, you can't really build any continuity. Kevin Durant, from what I heard yesterday, if I ask you a question, Chris, and I don't get no or nah. If I get no, that means you don't even want to talk to me.
Right.
That's what that means. Matter of fact, why are you even asking me that question? I'm done talking to you. No.
And it's crazy how Kevin Durant is like that, though. Like, Ernie, I can't remember Ernie doing or saying anything disrespectful towards Kevin Durant. Why did he respond to KD like that? Hey, Tubby, shout out for the gifted. No, for the gifted sub. 3 months, man. Appreciate it. 3 months. But how did
why he does that is because KD does not understand that playing basketball and dealing with the media is binary.
Yeah.
That means that you have to do both. He doesn't want to do that. KD just want to show up to the gym, rock, and leave. Mm-hmm. That's all he want to do. He don't want to talk to nobody. He don't want to be critiqued unless you talking good about him. He don't want to hear nothing bad about him. He doesn't want you involved in anything personal with him. KD, it's a simple question. You on a team that has championship aspirations, and you are an integral part of this unit. Can you tell us what's the status on your injury and how far along you are? No.
Right. Like, you couldn't even be like, hey, yo, I'm feeling all right now, but it's going to probably take me some time. Give me some time, man. Don't rush. You can't rush greatness. I would have said some shit like that, and that would have been it.
Or Ernie, I'm progressing, Ernie. I can't get too much into it, but I'm progressing, and I'm making progress, and we'll see how it goes, as opposed to no.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, Kevin, maybe we shouldn't be talking. All right? Maybe this is something that we probably shouldn't be talking about.
I don't think they're going to have KD up there next year, man, in this draft.
Yeah.
With this draft. They might, because I think low-key it was set up. They say the fans majority vote went LeBron and KD. Something telling me Luca going to be sitting right there. Or somebody in the Eastern Conference. I don't know. Somebody else in the Eastern Conference. Giannis may be sitting up there next year.
Somebody else.
I don't think it's going to be Kevin Durant.
Now to answer your question about Ben Simmons, now we taking the ball out of Ben Simmons' hand. All right. So we're taking the ball out of Ben Simmons' hand. Now we're gonna put him on a slasher role. So we'll put him on the baseline, right? We'll put him in the short corner. We'll actually put him at the high post to make him more of a playmaker, as opposed to putting the ball in his hands and exposing his deficiencies like Philadelphia did, and making him a playmaker, making him a scorer, making him. And what that will also do, is that will help him defend, because now we're taking a lot of responsibility offensively off of his hands, and now we telling him, yo, lock down this dude. You deal with James Harden.
Yeah.
You deal with Jason Tatum. You deal with Jaylen Brown, right? You deal with Julius Randle. We just talking about in the Eastern Conference. You deal with LaMelo Ball, right? You deal with Darius Garland, because we got the buckets over here covered. Don't worry about that. We got that covered. I think that's going to enhance his game. That's, of course, if he can handle it mentally.
That's the biggest issue with Ben Simmons when it comes to anything. Offense, defense, special teams. You know I like to name all three. But Ben Simmons, where are you at mentally? I haven't heard too much from him since he's been on his hiatus. Nobody's really been reporting on or updating us on has he been working on his game? Has he been getting his cardio in? Is he still interested in even playing the game of basketball? I don't know a tinker's damn about what the hell is going on with this Ben Simmons saga. So, I mean, I don't know if they had inside information, but blindly, the Brooklyn Nets is getting a player they probably don't know a damn thing about. Have you been working out? Because reports is in now that conditioning is a huge factor. Ben Simmons, quote unquote, wants to play, but you know, we got to see where he's at conditioning-wise, and they say it may take him a little bit of a time to get back conditioning-wise. To me, that's stupid, because I feel like you should have been conditioning while you were sitting up on your ass.
What are you doing? What do you mean? You got to take you a second to get conditioned. What are you doing?
You should be ready to go. I feel like all this time you've been sitting around, you should have been working out every day, waiting for your opportunity when you get moved, because you know you're not playing another game for Philly until they move you. So work on yourself, get better. That was when I read that, because I'm like, okay, Ben Simmons should be ready in maybe a game, 2 tops. But now they talking maybe a week or so. I'm like, ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. I could see if y'all talking about a few practices, a few days here and there. They talking about maybe up to a week.
No.
Come on, man. Ain't no way, boy. Get your ass up. Get your shit together, Ben. This is what people be talking about. I want to see you do well. Work on your game. Like I told you. Everybody say, well, they see these Instagram videos and shit, and they say, oh, he working on his game. No, at least not. Ben Simmons doesn't even attempt threes. Nobody wants a skateboard for Christmas, gets a skateboard for Christmas, but never takes it outside to play with it. That doesn't happen. Nobody takes that skateboard, goes outside, practices for 3 months how to kick flip, but don't kick flip in front of their friends when they get the opportunity to. It doesn't work like that. You always going to want to show off what you've been working on. You always want to show off your progression. Nobody gets from fat to in shape to go to the beach to not take their shirt off. That's the whole point.
That's why I did it.
That's why I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to tell me Ben Simmons is working in the offseason, and then for him to get into the regular season and not shoot no threes still and be the same mofo he was last year, 17, 8, and 8. The same 17, 8, and 8 he was last year. The same 17. People seen 17, 8, and 8 in his rookie season and said, oh, he finna be that dude. Offseason came. When he started that regular season, halfway through the year, I said, oh, he's not that guy. I see no developmental leap in this cat. Oh, you tweaking, OG. You tweaking. Woo this, woo that. Now we see where we at 3 years later. So, Ben Simmons, get your shit together, man, and come out here ready to ball, because now you got championship aspirations.
Real quick. I ain't listening to that. I'm expecting too much from this dude. He was the #1 overall pick in the draft. Don't tell me that.
Real talk.
I'm expecting too much from him. No, I'm not. He's the #1 overall pick in the draft. When you're the #1 overall pick in the draft, you're the franchise. We building it around you. Don't tell me that I'm expecting too much from this dude. In fact, he's gotten a pass all of these years. He's actually gotten a pass for what he actually should be. So don't tell me that. I'm not buying that. No
100% got a pass simply because of people saying what he should be. People just see what he is and they say, this is what he should be. So he's been getting a pass. 4 years straight, averaging the same numbers. Actually, numbers is down, like shooting splits. Miss me with that shit. Ben Simmons, you got to be better, and you got to be that guy that they drafted you #1 overall to be. The Lakers. Let's talk some Lakers. I know Cameron Payne got a little bit upset. It was reported on Twitter. Cameron Payne hopped in this new little thing they got going on Twitter called Spaces. I'm not too familiar with it, but I guess it's a group of people you can interact with your fan base, and everybody can get their turn talking. And Cameron Payne hopped into somebody's Spaces meeting, and they were talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. He said, man, stop talking about the worst team in the Western Conference We the best team in the West, and y'all don't give us no love. Y'all always want to talk about the Lakers. Well, guess what, Cam? I'm finna talk about the Lakers. Look, they lost to the Blazers without C.J. McCollum, without Damian Lillard. It was me, Unc, and a couple of my boys from around the corner playing in the Blazers jersey. And the Los Angeles Lakers lost with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the court at the same time. What is going on? This team has no star, and y'all took an L. Last minute of the game, LeBron misses a layup that would have brought the game to 3 points. They go down.
One possession game.
Yeah. It would have been a one possession game if he would have made that layup. He misses the layup. They go down. A couple of missed shots, trade places, turnovers, trade places, and I'm just sitting here looking at this last minute and a half of this game like, this is who the Lakers are. Like, look at this. This is who the Lakers are. LeBron James, in year 19, having a great offensive season. He's like third in the league in scoring right now. You know, LeBron James in year 19. It's like all the chips is in the middle of the board. What excuse can you create for a LeBron James that's playing this well offensively as to why this team is not as successful as it should be? What a Anthony Davis, even though Russell Westbrook is Gabricio, he's still giving you 18, 8, and 7, whatever the case may be. He's still giving you serviceable numbers for a third option. So it's like, what excuses can you create for this Lakers team as to why they 3-4 games behind 500? Like, what is the true future, Unc, of this Los Angeles Lakers team? And I also want to ask you another question on top of that. What do they got to do to fix this shit? Because this shit is garbage. I'm looking at this shit like, boy, y'all boys is garbage. Y'all lost to Portland.
Well, I want to start the conversation with this. So you know, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but Brooklyn lost to that same Portland team too, with Irving, Kevin Durant in the lineup. I just want to put that out there. But
C.J. McCollum was there.
No,
he wasn't there.
No.
That's nasty, man.
No. So they
what's
they
that
lost
kid?
to that same
Anthony Simmons.
Simons. Yeah, Simons was in the lineup. No question about that. However, when I look at this Laker team, the question that I had for the trade deadline, right? Because let's be clear about one thing. We're at the bottom of the playoff picture. Why wasn't, with the exception of James, why wasn't everybody available? Why was only this guy? What? Right. Why wasn't everybody? Why are we only limiting it to this dude or that dude? Call me up. What outside of James? To be honest with
you, Unc, I think the Lakers is in a good situation when it comes to that though, because they got a lot of expiring contracts. So how many pieces can they really get off? So that was the thing that I look, Russ maybe.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm gonna segue to, have you ever been out and I'm in the store with my daughter and I'm letting her know I ain't got it. I just ain't got it today. I ain't saying that.
Let everybody know in that press conference.
I ain't got it. So with that being said, this is what I have available for you to get today. I ain't saying that it's always going to be like that, but today I don't have it. Mm-hmm. So anybody that's calling up the Lakers, just know we ain't got no money. We don't really got a lot of tradable assets. So I can't really do nothing for you. This John Wall for Russell Westbrook situation, I know you liking it, but you also want my 27 first-round pick, which that's in 5 years. This dude, number 23, number 6, he ain't going to be here in 5 years. So I need that one, because that one could be a lottery pick. I'm going to need that.
Yeah.
So I can't just hand that over to you, because I don't know what this unit is going to look like in 5 years. But with that being said, I was very critical of the Brooklyn Nets. I told y'all that they was fool gold. Meanwhile, I'm talking out the other side of my face going, yo, let's wait till the trade deadline. Let's see what this Laker unit look like. When we waited to the trade deadline, these dudes is trash. These dudes is trash. And I'm over it. Okay? I'm over it. I'm watching these dudes and I'm like, yo, get Russ off the floor. Get Anthony Davis off the floor. The only bright spot is Monk, right? Get Jordan off the floor. Get Dwight Howard off the floor. Get Avery Bradley off the floor. Get Ellington on the floor. Get these dudes off. Man, get these dudes off my team.
Why is none not playing? What is going on?
And yes, I'm having a rant, and you know why I'm having a rant? Because I vouch for you dudes. That's why. And when I vouch for somebody, my word, right? When I vouch
Oh
for you,
man.
that means something. And I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. I'm telling everybody, yo, this Brooklyn team is super whack. I know what y'all see. Meanwhile, I'm telling y'all, yo, this Laker team, yo, listen, let's just give it some time. Meanwhile, these dudes is trash.
Facts.
Straight trash. And now James comes out, and I know I should keep my composure, but I can't. You know why I can't? Because James comes out and he tells us, which is what I already knew after Milwaukee smoked them like they did, yo, essentially, we ain't that good. I ain't saying that we not good and we can make the playoffs. We just ain't that good.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't Milwaukee good. We ain't Chicago good. We ain't Philadelphia, and we ain't Phoenix good. We not that good. And as long as this roster stays the way it is, we're not going to be that good. This is what we're looking at. And this is what this roster is going to stay like. If this roster is going to stay like this is what you're going to continue to see. We don't have any tradable assets, Chris.
None.
We ain't got no
That's
money.
the biggest issue.
We don't have money. So with that being said, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to look to dump some contracts, right? So we can see if we could get off of Jordan's contract. We can see if we could get off, because a lot of these guys is on the vet minimum deal. So we can see if we could get off Jordan contract. We can see if we could get off Dwight Howard contract. Maybe we're not getting off Ellington contract, but a lot of these other guys, we could see if we could get off some contracts and maybe, possibly, pick somebody up in the buyout market. That sounds ridiculous, but
That's
what
what they
other
said
options do we have?
That's what they said they focuses on. And like you say, what other options do you have at this point? Like
What
they
other
said
options do we have?
Is in a buyout market. So we'll see how that look. Like
I'm tired of sugarcoating it. I was trying to be diplomatic because you know how I feel about James and you know how I feel about Russ. I'm like, yo, this thing just started. Let's see if we can work this thing out. We are now here, and the trade deadline is passed, and I'm seeing the same thing that I was seeing 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I can't even breathe right now.
so realistically, where you see the Lakers finishing, realistically, they making the playoffs.
I do think that they're going to make the playoffs. I think that they could be in that. I think that they could be, as of right now, they look like they're going to be in the play-in tournament.
Okay.
I think that they could be in the play-in tournament. If they lucky, because we're talking about a team that they like 5 games, not 5 games. I think they're like 2 or 3 games out the 6th spot.
Okay.
So maybe they can, and even if that's the case, that means that we got to see Memphis in the first round, which I hate that matchup. I don't like that matchup. I hate it. Of all the matchups I don't like, I hate that matchup. Swept. I don't like that matchup at all, not one bit. But I do think that they'll make the playoffs. Yes, I do. I do believe that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with this Lakers team, but it's just funny to talk about them. That's why I put them on a docu. They struggling. LeBron James is the second greatest player of all time, in my opinion. And it's just looking at this shit like, damn. Like people say, well, LeBron James this, LeBron James that. To close this out, right? I asked my boy earlier today. I said, okay, would you say that 07 team is better than this 2022 team, Lakers? Like, you know, which team is better? Cavaliers 07 or Lakers 2022? I mean, if I'm looking at it, I would assume that the Lakers in 2022 has a better roster than the Cavs did in 2007. So
on paper it looked like that, but you're not factoring in, like, we got a bunch of geezers on this team. We don't have Dwight Howard. We don't have Jordan. We don't have Avery Bradley. We got these guys in name, but we have what they used to be. We don't have these guys.
I mean, Anthony Davis is you know, you can't pick 2 players from that Cavs team and match them up to who Anthony Davis is. That alone should swing the pendulum in the direction of the Lakers. So it's like Russell Westbrook. Who's better than Russell Westbrook on that team, even right now? Would you take Larry Hughes over Westbrook right now? I mean, that's the best comparison.
No.
That's what I'm saying. So why was LeBron able to elevate that 07 team, but he's not able to elevate this team? And that's what I mean when I tell you.
That was 15 years ago, Chris. Don't do that.
Okay.
No.
That's
that was 15 years ago.
But
I'm 37 years
leave
old.
it to a lot of cats.
750,000 miles on me.
Leave it to a lot of mofos out here that tell you LeBron they fall off. This is just a prime example of how LeBron James fell off. He can't lead a team like he used to do it. This is when I say his leadership fell off. This is what I mean. You got everything you need to succeed and some, but you flopping. Why? Oh, everybody else's fault. They not playing well. Anthony Davis is not the same. Russell Westbrook is shooting 41% from three or 30% from three, 41% from the field. It don't matter. LeBron James was able to elevate shit like this 15 years ago. He can't do it no more. So stop saying LeBron ain't fall off. He's just procrastinating Father Time. He's playing great offensively, but he's playing terrible defensively. His defensive win share is down from a year ago tremendously, LeBron James. So cut it out like a coupon. I'm just trying to let y'all know what it is. Come on, man. Hold on. Give me a sec. I hate when people call me and it's people that know what I'm doing.
We working. What you doing, fam?
Bro, and it's crazy because
my man is working. My nephew over here working. You know he working.
And
what
you know this, like the dude that's calling me knows what I'm doing right now. Like this is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Don't call me, man, when I'm doing what I'm doing.
I'm working. I'm working right now.
Damn.
Stop playing, yo.
But anyway, man, we all know LeBron ain't look, the stat pad. You know what I'm saying? Look. Second greatest player of all time, he might stay right there. Because like Unc say, he ain't winning another one. And to me, he needs to win another one as a past Mike. I ain't buying it with no foe. We ain't doing that. But let's talk about a guy who has been playing well, and that's Luca Doncic. Luca Doncic on the season right now is at 27-9-9. The shooting splits could be a little bit better, but he's got this Mavs team as the fifth seed in the Western Conference right now. They rolling, man. They've been a little bit inconsistent as of late. I mean, they won 7 of their last 10. Loss was to the Warriors. They took a bad loss to the Magic. So, I get why people would say what they would say. I was one of the guys that's on the bandwagon of Luca Doncic being a harder person to play with because of his play style. Also, not only his play style, but his mentality. He feels like a guy that's got a point to prove. He comes off as a guy that's very arrogant, very cocky, and uncoachable, which is a problem when it comes to franchise players. If you feel like you can't look, they just got rid of Porzingis and brought in 2 players that I feel like they really didn't need. So Bertans maybe to replace Porzingis, but who's the other cat they brought in from Washington? Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, Dinwiddie.
Is Dinwiddie really any better than Tim Hardaway at this point? I mean, last season I expected a step in the right direction coming into this season. He started off the season decent, but then he just fizzed out. So at this point, is he really that much better than Tim Hardaway? They pretty comparable to me. So I think you bringing in a player that you already got, and it's like I really don't know where they stand with this trade. I think they was just trying to move off Porzingis. He might have been a little bit on edge and unhappy, but he's in a place now in Washington who's are they in the play-in? They started off hot, but
they out. They in 12th right now.
So it's like you really don't know what to expect from that. I do like putting Porzingis with a guy like Bradley Beal and being able to space the floor for Montrezl Harrell, whatever the hell they plan on doing at the 5 over there, 4 over there. I don't even know what they got going on. But Luka Doncic has been nothing short of great for this franchise rookie season. He gave you 21, 8, and 6 rookie of the year. Second year, 28, 8, and 9. Third year, 27, 8, and 8. Fourth year, 27, 9, and 8, which is what he's at right now, 27, 9, and 9 if you round it up. And 33% from the 3, 45% from the field. It's not that bad at all. I like it for a volume score. But the question that I've been hearing and that I thought about is, with the recent success that Luka Doncic has obtained in the Dallas Mavericks jersey and the handoff between legend to future superstar from how Dirk fizzed out, retired, and they immediately got Luka Doncic, who would you say right now is the better player, Luka Doncic or Dirk Nowitzki? What you think?
I think about Dirk because what he brought to the game and how he revolutionized the Euro coming into the league, because without Dirk, there's no Kevin Durant. There's no Michael Porter Jr. There's none of these guys, because without Dirk, Kevin Durant got to play on the box. Without Dirk, these 6'9", these 6'10" guys, Giannis, ain't no Giannis without Dirk Nowitzki. Because these big guys, they got to play in the post. Dirk made it cool. And not only did he make it cool, he made it acceptable.
You know, one thing while you talking about Dirk, I just thought about something that shot in my head that made Dirk so unique. And as you talk about him transitioning the game, you know, as being a 4 or a 5 that guys had to defend on the perimeter, Dirk used to do something that used to stand out to me. And as a fan of Dirk Nowitzki, because Dirk is one of my favorite players of all time. He's right there, actually. You can see him right here. He's one of my favorite players, right? What he used to do, I used to watch, you know, a lot of Mavericks games. I used to try to catch him as much as I can. Dirk used to purposely inbound the ball and trot up the court when they was in a half-court set. Because naturally, and that time in his era, bigs were known. Once you on one side, you got to go play defense. You run back to the block, and you wait for your big man to come. Usually they come right to you, or they stop at the top of the key, set a screen. Dirk would purposely trot down the court, sit at the three-point line. Point guard would just hand it to him. Dirk could get a wide open three at the top of the key. Bang. You know what I'm saying? It's like the biggest, like, damn, he could shoot. I forgot. You know, and it would happen like 2-3 times a game, and it's like, because it's in your subconscious to just get back on D, run back to the block. And me as a big man, when I play basketball, it's in your so I know what they feeling. Like, we're not expecting him to shoot a three. So let's just get back on defense. But I just thought that was one of the ways. Now guys don't do that. Like centers get back down court, and they waiting at the 3-point line because everybody can shoot the ball at 7 feet now. So that's just something I wanted to throw in there. You gave me a little spark when you start talking about how he was transitioning and changing.
Well, when I think about Dirk, his ability to handle the basketball at 7 feet, Dirk was a legit footer. I seen Dirk Nowitzki before. Dirk Nowitzki wasn't nothing 6'9" or 6'10" about Dirk. Dirk was every bit of a footer, right? So we got a guy who can handle the ball in transition. We got a guy who can shoot the long ball. We got a guy who's got a money mid-range game, who is a great one-on-one player. Not only that, he's also taken away from the Euro tag, where the Euro is soft, because Dirk wasn't soft. Let's make sure we clear about that. So I think he transcended the game from that aspect. Still feel like with Luka, I don't think that it's that high. Not high. I'll take that back. I don't think we're going to get that much more from Luka. I think that everything that you see, I think that this is just about it.
100% agree.
Now, with that being said, I think that Jason Kidd has enhanced his skill set, and he's helped him just play a little bit smarter. So, for example, Luka, when he rebounds the basketball, he's got, I think he's got 27 games where he's had double-digit rebounds, right? So him taking the ball off the glass and pushing the ball, not just him dribbling it, him advancing the ball, that helps their offense. And that helps him get involved in the offense even more, right? So when Jason Kidd has made him more of a distributor and a playmaker, that opens up his offense even more, as opposed to him pounding the rock, and guys just standing around watching him. No, he's become much more of a playmaker, and I think that's largely due to what Jason Kidd has been doing for him. I think Jason Kidd has been a godsend. Now, moving off of Porzingis, Beast, they played 43 games this year. Porzingis played 22 of those 43 games. We talking about a dude who played half the season. What kind of continuity can we have with a dude playing every other game? I can't get any continuity with you, and this has been going on since he got here. This is not like this is something where he just starting to break down. He just got here. Now, I understand what Washington is trying to do, because they're going to have him and Bradley Beal playing together, and because Trez is gone. Trez is in I think Trez is going to be big in Charlotte, by the way.
Also, Trez, they moved Trez. They moved on from Trez.
Yeah, Trez. He in Charlotte now. But that's gonna be big. That's gonna be big for Charlotte, absolutely, because that's a dirty work guy that they don't have that they need. Absolutely, that was absolutely big. But when I think about Porzingis being in Washington, I think he helps them. But when I think about Luka, I think about how much better he's become because of Jason Kidd, and I just think that he's gonna, like I said, I don't think he's gonna get much better. I think that we've seen everything that we're gonna see. I think maybe 2 more seasons where he'll evolve a little bit more, but I don't think that it's going to be astronomical.
Yeah, considering the type of shots that he takes, I think him shooting 33% from 3 isn't terrible, and I can see that being sustainable throughout his career. 45% from the field. Again, the type of shots that he takes, the fall-away jump shots, the spinning jump shots, the step-back threes, they kind of circus shots. So when you got a guy that takes a lot of circus shots, expect him to not shoot. Shooting 45% for a circus shot taker is a great percentage. If you know, and I think that matters. You have to factor that in. Like a guy like Kobe Bryant shot 45% for his career, putting up the numbers that he put up. But Kobe was a circus shot taker. So you have to take that into consideration when you're talking about scores versus a guy like LeBron who shoots 50% for his career, who's a downhill guy. He's going to get a lot of shots in the lane. He's going to kill you from inside. He's going to shoot high percentage jump shots. You know, Giannis is going to shoot high percentage shots. You know, Luka takes a lot of chances with his shots, and it shows through his percentages. But give me Dirk.
Me too.
I mean, give me Dirk Nowitzki in this. Luka, until Luka can get where Dirk got, I'm taking Dirk Nowitzki because he's the only superstar that I've ever seen outside of Hakeem Olajuwon drag a bag of garbage to the NBA Finals and beat a super team in the NBA Finals, essentially. Matter of fact, he's the only guy. Because who did Hakeem beat in 94? The Knicks? So they wasn't no super team. So he's the only guy. So it's like, yeah, give me Dirk Nowitzki, man. His ring is equivalent to 2. So that's just how I feel about that. But your MVP ladder on TikTok, you mentioned it. You were rambling off, and you mentioned guys like Giannis. You mentioned guys like Joker. You mentioned guys like Embiid, but you failed to mention DeMar DeRozan.
There's a reason why.
I want to know.
There's a reason why.
You got some explaining to do. Why DeMar DeRozan?
I do have some explaining to do. Now, let's make sure we clear. And so, at the top of that list, the Chicago Bulls are still, I think they're a game out of first place in the Eastern Conference.
Yes, we are. Two games.
Game and a half. And DeMar DeRozan is still 26 a game.
27.
He's still doing work.
Right.
I'm sorry. Let me make sure I get it right. 27 a game. And he's still doing work. The mid-range assassin is what I call him. Absolutely. The problem that we have, though, is I got another dude on my team that's doing the same thing I'm doing.
No, he's not.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Not only that, Joker ain't got nobody on his team doing what he doing. Giannis ain't got nobody on his team doing what he doing. Embiid ain't got nobody on his team doing what they doing. The problem is I got somebody on my team that's basically belting out hits, and we winning Grammys because I'm doing this because he doing the same thing that I'm doing. I'm belting out hits, and we winning Grammys. He also belting out hits. Now, does that mean that I'm a better singer than him? I probably am, but he's also doing what I'm doing though, so that doesn't help his case. No, it does not. Meanwhile, Joker, ain't nobody on his crew doing what he doing. Ain't nobody on Philadelphia outside of Embiid doing what he doing. Giannis, ain't nobody doing what he doing. The guy that we need to start talking about in this MVP race that we're not talking about is Chris Paul. We need to have this dude in the conversation. Absolutely. Because I think that the Phoenix Suns may be the most complete team in the game today. I think that they're the most complete team in the NBA, and that's largely due to Chris Paul and what he does for that unit. Absolutely.
Yeah. The greatest two-way point guard of all time. I think Chris Paul is a top 5 point guard of all time, and he's showing it. And he's also a guy we need to talk about as an ageless wonder. Like, he's progressed. He's pushed Father Time away from him a little bit because Chris Paul is 36, 37 years old, his damn self. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no young stallion giving you 18 and 10.
No, he's not.
Like, he's a guy that needs to some consideration. Like, Chris Paul is a dog, and when he retires, he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. He's the top 5 point guard of all time, in my opinion. Like, only guy with 20,000, 10,000, that means something. Assists, not rebounds. That means something. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Paul needs to be talked about more in that MVP conversation. I agree. But part of the MVP, we know, narrative. What's his narrative? I mean, what, older, progressed Father Time? What's the Suns' narrative? You know, because the last memory of the Suns is they flopped in the finals. That was the last memory. But, you know, Chris Paul goes to talk about how he really couldn't shoot the ball. The injuries, you know, prevailed him and all of that. So I don't know what the conversation really is about the Suns right now to force the league to talk about Chris Paul in some MVP considerations. But I don't know. I think he deserves at least the conversation. If he's not going to win it, at least the conversation. But That's all we got, man. Questions from the fans.
Yeah.
W's in the chat, man. If you enjoyed yourself, give us some questions. I saw one question somebody had asked about Pascal Siakam. They asked us to give credit what credit is due when it comes to Toronto and how great Pascal Siakam has been playing as of late. The Toronto Raptors beat up on us like last week. You know, so shout out to the Raptors, man, because that's a scrappy team with OG Anunoby, Pascal coming back. The young rookie and Scotty Barnes has been playing outside of his mind. I love what I'm getting from him. Pascal is averaging nearly a double-double, 21 and 9. He came back off this injury on point, putting his team on his back. I love what I'm seeing from Toronto. I think they're a piece away from being like if they would have like. If I would have kept Kyle Lowry piece away, because they run this like small ball type of game to where they got Pascal at the 5 and they got Scotty Barnes at the 4 and Anunoby at the 3, Van Vliet running the point, you know, whatever the case may be. So it's like I like this scrappy ass Toronto team, man, full of these Africans, man. These boys is dogs, man. What you think?
Absolutely. I'm absolutely digging him. And I was wrong about Van Fleet because I really liked Van Fleet in a reserve role. I really didn't think that he was a lead guard that could lead a team to the playoffs. Because I thought he was small. And I felt about him is the same, and how I felt about him and how I was wrong about him is the same way my nephew over here is wrong about Cleveland and that big lineup that they got. You see what they doing. My boy was wrong about Cleveland and that big lineup. Big fellas is coming back. Yeah, the big guys are coming back.
Yeah, they doing something like that 1-2 punch with the 4 and the 5. I wasn't a fan of that, but it's like, speaking of DeMar DeRozan, we just closed out the Minnesota Timberwolves 134-122. DeMar had 35, 6 and 6. Shout out to Vooch, man, 25, 8 and 7. His assists been up over the past 5 games. So my boys take it home.
I'll put it out there real quick just so you know that I see your 36, and I counted that with Joel Embiid with 25 and 20 tonight and 6 blocks. I just want to put that out there.
He went what?
I just want to put that out.
What did he do?
One more time for the people in the cheap seats. He went 25, 20 and 6 blocks. I just want to put that out there.
Damn. He's better, bro. He's better than Joker, bro.
I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but that's what he did.
You definitely did steal my thunder, but damn.
I apologize, my man. Yeah.
Oh,
he went 25, 20, and 6.
I'm about to go check his fantasy numbers. My God. That's crazy, bro. Joel
and they won too. And they won too.
They won. That's the most important.
Yeah. In addition to that, they also won. So I mean, we talking about a dude. That's why Philadelphia did what they did with James Harden, because this dude is in his prime, and we can't waste no more. We can't waste no more of his prime years. We got to get this dude a baller so we can have an opportunity to compete for the NBA championship. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to see 25 and 20, 29 and 17, and we getting bounced in round 1. No.
Not only that, but James Harden doesn't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he had the ankle injury in the playoffs last year, and this year, a little knick-knack shit, hamstring here, bullshit there. But Harden is fairly healthy player. So it's like, not only that, but you got a guy that, for injury-prone Joel Embiid, when he has to step out of the lineup for a few nights, you don't lose a step because you got a guy that can control the whole offense, dictate the flow and the tempo, and give you 30 on any given night. One of the greatest scorers we've ever seen in James Harden. So it's a win-win, man. I love Chris Paul, but he hurt every year in the playoffs. How far can the Cavs go this year? Stephen A. say Eastern Conference Finals.
I think they can win a playoff series. I don't know if they can. Yeah. I don't know if they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they better than Chicago. I don't think they better than Milwaukee. I'm not sure if they better than Philadelphia. I'm not sure, and I don't know if they better than Miami. So the Eastern Conference Finals, you asking a lot from that young group. Yeah, but I tell you what, ask me this question: if they stick this group, if this group can stick together for another 2 years, we definitely talking about them in the East Finals, no doubt.
Who's winning the Super Bowl MVP, and why is his name Cooper Kupp? Well, a dream scenario would be Jamar Chase for me to win it, because that's probably my favorite player in the league right now. But I'm going to say Joe Burrow gets it, because I think the Cincinnati Bengals going to pull it out. What you think, Unc?
Joe Mixon, because I think that they're going to be run heavy, and I think that they're going to take a page out of the 49ers book, and I think that they're going to try to do their best to neutralize
That
Aaron
offense.
Donald, and they're gonna do the best that they can to neutralize Aaron Donald and open up that run game. And I think that they're gonna be Joe Mixon heavy, and that's gonna open up their pass game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I could see that.
Yep.
Krista Sizzler said, "What's your favorite Tupac movie?" Mine,
Oh, that's juice for me.
probably Juice. I would
Yeah,
have to
juice for
say
me.
I would have. You got to get the ground beneath your feet, partner. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Probably Juice for me. Gridlock
Yeah.
Juice. Uh, LeBron will pass Karl
Jamal
Malone. Go ahead.
Jamal Wilkes would be a star today. If he played in the game today, 6'8", could handle the basketball. He had a funky looking jump shot, but it went in all the time. I'm gonna let you know that right now. He shot the ball from way back here, and it was funky, but he didn't miss. It went in all the time. I tell you that. He had a nice handle. He had a good mid range game. He was great in transition. Jamal Wilkes would be a star today.
Copy that. LeBron James passes Karl Malone before the season is over, and he'll be 36,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. That wasn't a question. That was a statement, but I'm glad you pointed that out. That's an incredible accomplishment for
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James.
Yep.
All right, OG Chill. They played OKC. Still impressive. One more. We're going to get the hell out of here. Baron Davis or Darren Williams? I'm biased. You shouldn't ask me that.
Yeah,
Give me
you know
Diddy.
where he at.
Give
Yeah,
me
B
Diddy.
Diddy is his guy. Yeah, Diddy is his guy. I'm more of a Darren Williams. I was a big Darren Williams fan. There was a stretch where I was making the argument that Darren Williams was better than Chris Paul. I was making that argument that he was better than him because Chris Paul, his ability to stay healthy and how inconsistent he was at the time, and how Darren Williams attacked the rim and his mid-range game. I was making the argument that he was better than Chris Paul. So, and me and my nephew over here, we have a disagreement. I think Gary Payton is one of the best two-way point guards in the history of the game, but he goes with Chris Paul. That's his dude. So, and it's close too.
It's very
It's close.
close. It's
Yeah,
very close. That's
it's
that's the
close.
best argument that you could make. Gary Payton is because Gary Payton was 22 to 25 a night, and he's shutting down the point guard on the other side of the court. I just believe Chris Paul is not fortunate to win that award, and that's something that Gary Payton can reach to and say, look, I got one of these. So, but shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, man. If you enjoyed yourself, W's in the chat. I appreciate all of you guys, especially the loyals on YouTube, man. If you can't catch this podcast live, Sports Behavior Podcast is on YouTube. The link is in the bio on Twitch, on Instagram, on TikTok. It's everywhere you can find it. So shout out to the guys over there. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Tune in every Tuesday, every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central. We enjoyed y'all company tonight. Take us home.
Take it light, but take it.
We out.